Hey, it's Luke John Harrison. Just before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe to this channel. Make sure the bell notification icon is on. I would love to hear from you, and it only takes 1 second of your day to make mine. Let's get into it. My name's Luke John Harrison. This is episode 10 of the Daily Supercharge. I want to help you today with a little bit of advice on how to get your kids off the Xbox and a little bit more involved in some things that you probably think they should do. Now, coming from a background of loving video games myself, it used to drive me dad nuts when I was on my Nintendo. Now, I can understand the parents' frustration at that because we're like, it's warping their mind, it's frustrating for you because you want them to be more active, you want them to be more sociable, and admittedly, when we spend too much time in front of a screen and not having human interaction, it really knacks with our development of social skills and our self-confidence. And we see this even in adults now who spend too much time in video games. But it's about getting the balance right. The fact is, video games aren't bad, but the amount of time spent staring in front of a screen and dedicated to video games can be detrimental. So how can you change a kid's mind to spend less time on a video game? Well, the reason why they're spending that much time and effort into the video game is because they have a perceived value to that. It's easy, it's exciting, it's challenging, it's fun. It is also, they feel like they're not missing out because most of their mates are probably doing that as well. So they're hitting a lot of trigger buttons there for having a lot of value towards this activity. So I'd ask you a question as well as a parent. How much interest are you taking into your kids' video games? Now, when I was a kid, I know my dad just was like, stop playing so much on video games. And I wanted to play more on video games because you want to rebel a bit as a kid, don't you? You don't really do what your parents told you. No kids do that. Kids do and follow what their parents do. Now, as a teenager, that gets a little bit hard, obviously, because of their social circles. They tend to bounce off their environment more and their peer group, rather than when they're a younger kid, they tend to follow their parents. But as a kid gets older, like I'm still a gamer. I'm once a gamer, I'm always a gamer. I'll always play video games, but now I just dedicate a little bit time to it when and as I can. But if your teenage son or daughter sees a lot of value in playing video games and does it far too much, you believe, you have to consider a few things. One, they really enjoy it. They could be actually playing things that are quite challenging to their mind, that's good for their coordination, the dexterity in the hands, possibly. There's some advantages that you could possibly not be seeing. But you've also got to think as well as how much of an interest you are taking in what your kid is doing. Because the problem is you might not even know that he's playing a PlayStation. You might call it an Xbox. And to a kid, that's like, fuck's sake, man. Will you just get it right? What game is he playing? What level is he up to? What's his favorite character? What's his whole idea and perspective about the activity that he's doing? Do you ask him questions about it? What if you just said, hey, tell us a little bit about this? Oh, that looks interesting. What about this character? Hey, I'll tell you what, if my dad did that when I was a kid, I would love, and you will see this. If you ask your kid about the video games, if they're a regular player, they will get excited as fuck to tell you about it. They'll want to tell you about it, right? But are you asking them? Are you giving them the time to ask about that? Are you being genuinely interested? Because if you can't be genuinely interested in their behavior, how are they going to be genuinely interested in what you want them to do? So consider, if you're showing a little bit of an impact on asking them and being genuinely interested, they will probably be more likely to be interested in what you have to say. Just a thought. Hey, this is coming from someone who doesn't have kids. I'm not saying I've got all the answers, but I'm giving you a perspective from somebody who, as a kid, loved video games, didn't understand why my parents didn't understand it, and never got asked about it. Do you know what I would have loved as a kid, as a 10-year-old kid, if my dad said, right, we're going to have a quiz. And the quiz is on the video game that you are currently playing. Right, what level is this? Right, what color character is this? Holy shit, that would have blew my life up, and it would have meant I wanted to spend more quality time with the family, more time away from the video games, even though it was still actually involving the game. But you probably see where I'm going here, right? It's a simple, just kind of came to my head here, and I was like, that would have really helped me as a kid. Not that I'm saying that I grew up and had issues because of a lot of video game playing, but however, I did develop a little bit mild Tourette's in school, and that was down to stress and bullying and too many video games, because yes, I did spend a lot of time in front of the TV. But I noticed not many people apart from my mates talked about video games. So my dad wanted us to get into football and rugby and basketball and all this, and I just wasn't interested until I found the gym at a young age, and then thankfully I found something that I enjoyed. But at the same time, I love video games, I always will, and I know a lot of parents won't understand this, but maybe you could take a little bit more interest into their habits and what they love to do and ask them questions on it, and maybe get a little bit more intrigued and involved. You never know, you might enjoy it yourself. It's an idea. Take it, roll with it. It may help today. That's what I'm here for, to help you. And if this has been useful, I'm pleased. Go get it.